like the perfume department of a big store. It was as if somebody had bumped their elbow against a bottle and sent it crashing to the floor, setting off the most expensive stink bomb on earth. But it happened in a house, not a shop. And the woman who broke the bottle was no casual afternoon shopper. She was the penniless poorest of the poor, giving away the only precious thing she had. And he sat still while she poured the liquid all over his head, as unnecessary as aftershave, on a full crop of hair and a bearded chin. And those who smelt it, and those who saw it, and those who remembered that he was against extravagance called him a waster. They forgot that he also was the poorest of the poor, and they who had much and who had given him nothing objected to a pauper giving him everything. Jealousy was in the air when a poor woman's generosity became an embarrassment to their tight-fistedness. That was on the Wednesday when they called him a waster. You can imagine the shockwaves. Here was a woman anointing Jesus, breaking all the social rules. Not only was she a woman approaching a man, which was unheard of, but approaching him and offering such an intimate gesture. What a shock. You can hear the whispers around the room. And added to that, what an extravagant waste of money. Matthew doesn't tell us exactly who the woman was, but whoever she was, she obviously knew who Jesus was. And this act shows us that she wanted to express her love to him. I wonder how Jesus had touched her life. What had he done to make a difference? Perhaps he'd healed her, valued her for who she was, brought her from captivity into freedom, helped her from darkness into light. Her life had obviously been changed and transformed by Jesus, and this act was a response to that. What a beautiful thing to witness. And yet, that's not how it's perceived. So let's turn to the host, Simon. It tells us here that he was the leper, but I think it's safe to assume that he had been healed by Jesus, because a leper had to be at a distance from people. They certainly weren't hosting dinner parties. So here is a man whose life has also been transformed by Jesus. And yet he cannot understand the response and act of this woman. Maybe in his mind, his offer of hospitality, putting on a respectable dinner party, is the more appropriate response. It's certainly more in keeping with social norms. So I wonder how we respond in our lives to Jesus, in gratitude for all that he has done for us. Do we in fact stop and recognize and seek to find ways to acknowledge that? This week we have the opportunity to take time and to stop again. Traveling with Jesus through this week gives us the opportunity to recognize again just how much he has done for us. So why don't you take time? Take time to offer a response back to Jesus, a response that is appropriate for you, a response that feels right. But don't worry about the extravagance. Find a way that shows Jesus just how much you are grateful to him for all that he has done. Amen.